All right, what is up, everyone? Welcome back to the Heart to Heart podcast. This is the third season and 10th episode. My name's Hafiz, and today we have a special guest, Katie. Hello, how are you?
I am fabulous. Thank you so much for inviting me to your podcast. I'm so excited.
Please don't make this complicated. What about the time we wasted on our love?
All right, let's jump right into it. So, we're going to start off with the gaming aspect of him. And for those of you who don't know how it works, we end up asking each other three light-hearted questions, and then we'll incorporate three random words into those questions. You ready to get started?
I'm ready to get started.
All right, so my first question to you is, if you had to choose between biking, skateboarding, or scootering, which would you pick? And your words are to, secure, and hike.
To secure my time. So if I had to choose between biking, skateboarding, and what was the other one?
Scootering.
Scootering, what would I choose? Well, to let you know, in order for me to get someplace, I could hike, but really I'd feel much more secure if I could scooter.
Nice. So nice. That's really cool.
Okay. So, Mohammed, what I'd like to know is I'd like you to describe your favorite celebration outfit. And your three words are velvet, factor, and button.
Wow. Okay. Okay, so in terms of my favorite celebration, okay, so I know most people would like go with a tie that has like a nice button on it. They'd call it the X Factor. I mean, I wouldn't personally, but some people would. But for me, I'm gonna be honest, I like to keep it simple. I really, really, really like this hoodie. It's very, very comfortable, and I'm the type of person who likes to just take things easy, maybe a little too easy, but take things easy. I would just take like a hoodie and then have a nice red velvet cake beside me, because well, who doesn't like red velvet cake, right? So yeah, that would be my choice. Just a casual hoodie and some nice track pants as well. You never know when you're gonna want to, just jump into playing sports, skateboarding, running, you just gotta be prepared for everything. So that's what I would do personally. My next question for you is, so let's say you could decide, so you could either have an iPhone, an Android phone, or you could have a combination of them both. So this new phone that like combines the best features from both. Obviously, it's going to be a learning curve because it's two different ones, right? Which one would you pick between those three? And your words are interest, redundancy, and just.
Hmm. So, for me to choose between an iPhone, an Android phone, and a new combination that would actually seem to be a redundancy of the two, but it would be a combination instead, I think my interest would lie primarily in the combination. I mean, why wouldn't you want to have two things, the very best of everything? I mean, it's just the very best.
Damn, you did so well. Well done there. Wow. Okay, that was brilliant. That was brilliant. Well done, well done.
Okay, you ready?
Yes, I am more than ready.
Tell me about the most interesting meal you've ever had. And your three words are blind, wheat, and catch.
Most interesting meal I had. Ooh, I don't know if I've had that many interesting meals, so this is not really going to be the best of an answer. But I'm gonna work with a more recent one that I haven't tried before. Some people said it was a catch. Some people said I was blind for not seeing how good it is, but I fully disagree. It's the Beyond Meat burger. I don't see I don't see anything that's good about it. Yeah, the burger might have some wheat in it, but like, so what? I tried eating it, just I don't know. It just wasn't. I was not a big fan of it at all. I kind of was in an environment where I just had to have something, so I did. But Yeah, it wasn't it. If anyone likes it out there, I'm so sorry. It's just not it. Nah. But yeah, so there's that's like I haven't really had that many interesting meals yet. When the time comes, we'll get more. I'll push past my comfort zone in food. So yeah,
Very good.
awesome, awesome, awesome. Okay, my last question for you is, if you had to drink one of these three for the rest of your life, okay? Um, Dr. Pepper, Coca-Cola, or water? I'm gonna be nice. I'm gonna toss water in there, okay? Um, which one would you drink? You had to pick one for the rest of your life, okay? And your words are allocation, sticky, and risk.
Well, at the risk of sounding really picky, I have never really drank a lot of Coca-Cola. So that I would cross that off my list right away. I used to drink a lot of Dr. Pepper, but I found over time, as I'm allocating my meals and my calories, that the allocation of soda really doesn't have a place in my sticky, messy life that I have. So I would definitely have to go with water.
Great answer. There's no better drink than water. Um, living proof. Yeah, okay.
Okay, so your last question is, how would you describe your city environment to someone visiting from Mars? And your three words are worm, udder, and cart.
Wow. Great question. All right. So let's say someone's visiting from Mars. I would utter a couple words to them, just tell them a few things. Firstly, in Toronto, we have a lot of animals, including worms. I don't know where the worms are, but I've seen a couple of them somewhere in this land. We're also very advanced technologically, and what that means is you could buy stuff online. You could add items to the cart and so on and so forth. Actually, I don't even think they know what a store is, so I might as well tell them that too. You could walk into a place where you could push a cart and add items into there as well. That's a lot I would tell them. But what would separate our city from the rest, for me, it's a sports, but I don't know what most people would pick. It's a good environment. I can't even lie. It's a really really good place. It's a good community of a whole bunch of different types of people. You get to learn a lot of different cultures and experiences and so on and so forth. So yeah, there's that. All right.
Well, that was fun.
Thank you. And those were some great questions. One of the better ones I remember getting, honestly. Um, so yeah, okay, so let's jump right into the next part of it. I would like to ask you, so you brought up a method, a waffles method. Would you like to talk a little bit about what that is, what it stands for, and just a little bit more about it?
Sure. So first of all, thank you for the question. That's a great question. I am an official waffles dissolver. I show people how to dissolve worries, anxiety, fear, frustration, lethargy, exhaustion, and stress. I don't know if you know or not, but 80% of the medical visits to your physician are because of stress. And once we can learn how to control our stress and not let ourselves be controlled by stress, we are going to see so much better health and have so much more control, more focus, sleep better at night, just all kinds of things. I found out about this, Mohammed, by actually um, uh, when I was in my mid 50s when I went back to school to earn my PhD, and it's in mathematics education. I wanted to help students who had this fear and anxiety about math, and I was like, "What is that all about?" I love math. Math is like fascinating and the basis of all known science and art and music and everything. But my students didn't feel that way. So I wanted to help them overcome their fear and anxiety about math. So in 2010, I watched a 10-day summit by Nick Ortner on the Tapping Summit. And in watching that, I bought the book, bought the DVD, taught myself, and thought, I wonder if this would help. I had no idea if it would work or not, because in that summit, they talked about how to remove the fear and anxiety about finances, relationships, health, all kinds of things, but nobody was mentioning math or test anxiety. I had no idea if it was going to work or not, but luckily my students were desperate, and desperate people will try anything, right? So we tried it, and one after another, they would come back in my office and say, I think I passed my math class. Well, to tell you the truth, I had no idea who was more surprised. Was it them or me? I mean, I didn't know that this was going to work or not. So I thought, well, I think I should get training because I have no idea what I'm doing. So I went back and I got training in level 1, level 2, level 3, trauma, quantum, which is past lives. That's kind of interesting. And actually, while I was working full time, it took me 4 years to earn my PhD in mathematics education. While I was working full time, it took me 8 years to become a master trainer in tapping or emotional freedom technique. And that's what dissolving waffles is.
Wow, okay. That's a lot to process. That's amazing though. Um, yeah, our society is filled with people. I mean, obviously, no one's. I feel like we're all at least at certain moments filled with, anxiety, filled with worry, stress, and so on and so forth. And a lot of times people feel like there's no way out. They feel like that's it. I'm gonna be stuck like this for the rest of my life, and so on and so forth. And it sucks to hear that. And like deep down inside, I know it's not the case. Like my situation right now is not it's not bad. It's pretty good. But I was in a situation like that, and I know a lot of people who are living in that state, and sometimes I kind of get lost as to what to tell them and whatnot. So let me just pass this question off to you real quick. I'd say someone really close to you, they're struggling. Like what do you tell someone to like ease things? I don't know if this is connected to Waffles itself or if this is aside from it, but yeah, if you'd like to enlighten me in that, I'd really appreciate it.
So that's a good question. And what I have found painfully is that, well, I'll tell you, when I first learned about tapping, emotional freedom technique, I would go up to almost strangers and I would hear them complaining about something, and I'd grab them by the shoulders and say, I can help you. I know tapping. I can help you. And even my loved ones, I would go up to them. Well, my husband was the first one, right? I sat him down on the couch and I said, sit down here, honey, and I want you to tell me everything you feel negative about. Well, he kind of gave me a side eye and said, is this a trap? I said, no, 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 no. I want to know what's going on. And he said, okay, well, for 40 years, you've been telling me to be positive, and now you want me to tell you what I'm feeling negative about? And I said, yeah. Well, now he didn't trust it, and he wasn't accepting of it, but he's a good sport. And so I said, hey, just do this with me. Now, because I live with him, I knew what he was feeling, right? Because I hear about it every night. I'm upset with this client. This vendor's not doing anything. I have problems with this technology. So I led him in a short tapping thing, and he got up and he said, that was a complete waste of time. I said, okay. But you know what? The next day he came home and I said, how was your day, honey? And he said, it was great. I said, well, what about that client you were upset about? Oh, I took care of it. I'm a professional. I know how to handle these things. What about that technology that was like giving you trouble? He said, oh, I just called them and they took care of everything. What about that vendor that you couldn't get through and you had problems about the bill? He said, oh, I sent him an email. Everything's fine. I said, so tapping doesn't work? You've been complaining about these people for months, and now you come home in one day and everything's fine. So what I have found is that unless people are really ready to work on tapping, like if I have loved ones who I do have loved ones who ask me to tap with them. Love it, is fabulous. But I have some loved ones that are like, not so much. So what I do is I tap on myself about how I feel about them. And in tapping on myself about how I feel about them, that changes the dynamics.
I like that. I like that. Can you just talk a little bit about what tapping is?
I can talk for a long time about what tapping
Let's do
is.
it. Okay.
So tapping is a somatic method. That means it has to do with the body. So we actually tap on different parts of our body. And if you'd like, we can kind of go through it while we are saying statements. And as we tap on these different parts, what we are doing is we are actually activating junctions of the traditional Chinese medicine meridians. It was developed by an electrical engineer out of Stanford University by the name of Gary Craig. He saw the meridian chart of traditional Chinese medicine, and he thought of them as electrical circuits. And he said, do you know on these spots right here, the circuits actually intersect. And if you tap on these spots, you're going to be hitting 95 to 98% of the circuits. And he said, I wonder what this could do. Now, you and I know that we can be positive and have those positive affirmations and say all the right things. And yet we still have those negative, nagging feelings, right? And they kind of get stuck with us, which is strange because when we have a good feeling, like we're in love or we have joy or happiness or the holidays or something wonderful, we have that feeling and then it moves through us because that's what emotions are supposed to do. They're energy in motion. But why does anger and rage and fear and hurt stay stuck? It's because we keep putting positive things on top of it and not let the negative out. Would you like to do a quick routine and see how it works?
Let's do it. I love it. All
Okay.
right.
So it starts with me asking you a number of questions.
Yeah.
There's no right answer. There's no wrong answer. And you just, what the most important thing is it's got to be the truth for you. Okay.
Got it.
So can you think of a waffle, a worry, an anxiety, a fear, frustration, lethargy, exhaustion, or stress that you've had in the last 24 or 48 hours?
Yeah. So I had an issue with, okay, so basically quick backstory is I'm trying to set up a business right now and I used Google Workspace as a tool, and initially I was set on it, and then I realized that that tool is very frustrating to use because it doesn't have some basic things that the other tool that I'm looking more into, which is Microsoft Teams, has. So going through that time and process where I was like, I was so set on this, I paid for my monthly bill on it, and then I realized that that wasn't quite going to be the case. Yeah.
Okay. And so when you think about that, what emotion do you feel right now? Just thinking about that, you paid for that and everything, and it just didn't work out.
It's just frustration because it's like, yeah, because it pushed me back more than I wanted it to, and more than I hoped it would. Yeah, just frustration. That's what it is. Yeah.
Okay. And from 0 to 10, where 0 is like, no big deal. It's just part of running a business. And 10 is the most frustrated you've ever been in your life. Where is it?
Probably like a 6.
Okay.
Yeah, because like it did take a hit in terms of like the core productivity of the business, but um also it's not the end, right? Like it's not the end of time. Like it's just because I
Yeah.
ran into an obstacle.
And from the top of your head to the bottom of your toes, where is that? Where do you feel that frustration in your body right now?
Um, Probably from the chest area.
In your chest. Okay.
Yeah,
And is this a true statement? Right here, right now, I feel safe.
that is a true statement.
Okay, so I'm going to first of all show you the spots and we'll tap on them together. And then after that, we'll add words. But when we add words, here's my last question.
Hmm.
If I say something, then you think, that's not really true, or I wouldn't use those words, I'd say it a little bit different way. Will you put it in your own words for me?
Sure. Let's do
Okay.
it. All
Okay.
right.
So what we're going to do is first of all, start off with the location. So we're going to start on the side of the hand between the wrist and the little finger. And we're going to tap right there. Yeah, there you go. And we're going to add words when we go through it the next time. When we add words, we're going to repeat the same sentence. So we'll end up saying the same sentence about 3 times here. Okay. And then the next spot is on the top of your head, right on the crown of your head. And you can use your right hand or your left hand or both. It doesn't matter. You can do the monkey move. And then the next spot is, and I'm coming in for a close-up, so I'm warning you, is above your nose on the edge of your eyebrow. And again, you can use one hand or the other or both. It doesn't matter. There you go. And then the next spot is between the edge of your eye and your hairline. And you can tap on one side or the other. And then the next spot is where I keep all my bags for a quick getaway, and that's under my eyes. And then we go under our nose, above our lips. And then we go below our lips, above our chin. And then cross your wrist and go right on your collarbone. There you go. That's it. And then we go about 4 inches under our arms, and we're going to thump our ribs and give our ribs a good thumping. There you go. So those are the spots we have. So you ready to start?
Oh, hell yeah. This is so
Okay,
interesting.
here we go.
All right.
Okay, so on the side of the hand, I'm going to say, even though,
Even though,
when I think about all the work I put into that,
when I think about all the work that I put into that
and it didn't work out,
and it didn't work out,
and I have all this frustration in my chest now,
and I have all this frustration in my chest now,
right here, right now, I feel safe anyway.
right here, right now, I feel safe anyway.
Even though,
Even though
in my chest, I feel this frustration.
in my chest, I feel this frustration that's dying out. Sorry.
Yeah, just thinking about all I just paid for a month of this stuff.
Yeah, just thinking about all this, it's been paid for,
Yeah, and it didn't work out.
and it didn't work out.
And it set me behind.
Set me behind.
Right here, right now, I feel safe anyway.
Right here, right now, I feel safe anyway.
Even though,
Even though,
oh, I'm so frustrated in my chest.
nah, I'm not really that frustrated.
Oh, you're not frustrated anymore?
Nah.
When you think about it, how does it feel right now?
Like I don't know, like it was a good to happen now versus later down the line after um after it's fully established and it really becomes hard to transition.
So your frustration from 0 to 10, where is it now?
Zero to probably at like 15, 20.
Like what?
At like 15 or 20.
Oh, it went up? Your frustration's higher?
No, 15 to 20%. Oh, you went, sorry,
Oh, from 0 to 10.
0 to 10. Sorry, I went in percentages. Okay. So like 1 to 1.5, something along the lines of that.
Okay, well, that's good. So let's do
Yeah.
this. So the frustration is almost all gone.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, like I started thinking about it and I was like, you know what? Maybe like it's better to happen now than it is to happen, at a later time after everything has already been established. And I know it's the only thing that's still frustrating about it is the wasted time. It's like, I could have spent that day or those 2 days like doing other things. But
So the frustration about the waste of time,
that's still there.
that
Yes.
frustration and the waste of time, is that still in your chest?
It's still there a little bit, yeah.
Okay, so just a little bit of frustration when I think about losing 2 days of time.
Yeah. Yeah. When I think, oh, wait, I'm supposed to repeat after you?
Yeah, so
Oh,
frustration of 2 days of time.
2 days of time. Yeah. It's frustration of 2 days of time.
Yeah, that sucks. So
That sucks. It
frustration of
sucks.
losing 2 days of time.
Frustration of losing 2 days of time.
That
Sucks.
frustration in my chest.
That frustration in my chest.
Losing 2 days of time just makes so much frustration in my chest.
Losing 2 days of time just makes so much frustration in my chest.
So much frustration in my chest.
So much frustration in my chest. That's not true. It's not so much anymore. It's like
Not so much anymore. It's just a little bit of frustration.
just a little bit. Yeah.
Yeah, just a little bit left over.
Yeah. Just a tad bit.
Just a little bit of frustration left over.
Just a little bit.
It's almost gone now.
It's pretty much gone at this stage. Yeah, it's pretty much
So
gone.
what I have my clients do now is put your hands on your shoulders and you're going to rub all the way down to your elbows and blow your air out like a cartoon character. It looks like this.
Oh. I like that.
So
That
when you think
definitely
about the frustration now from 0 to 10, how high is it?
practically gone at this stage. Like that actually got me thinking about the like the reasons as to why it happened and how it was probably better off happening. It was like could be 2 days versus like a whole month and a whole disrupted system once everything is established. So probably for the better now that I think about it that it happened now and whatnot.
I'm so excited for you. This is exactly what happens with my clients, that when we do tapping, as they release the negative emotions, they can see the advantages of something. They can feel that energy shift. They can focus and move forward in their lives. I see it every day.
That's amazing. I gotta say, I already love this. Like I already love this. That's amazing. Um, okay. Okay, so you know what? While we're at this, teach me something I don't know about life in general.
Something you don't know about life in general.
Yeah,
Hmm.
or just life. Yeah, anything. Doesn't have to be in general. It could be specific things, but just something I don't know about life. Yeah.
So I don't know if you know this or not, but one of the things that has gotten me through life a lot is this too shall pass. So when you are down at your lowest day, the big thing to do is to go to sleep and wake up in the morning and look in the mirror and say, I'm going to give it 24 more hours. The trick is don't skip a day. Do it every day. And there are surprising things that happen. I know I've been depressed at different points in my life. And I'll call my sister, who's really wicked to me. I mean, she says, you're kidding me. And she'll just start listing off all the things that I have going on good in my life. How could you possibly be sad or depressed? And I'm like, but you don't understand. And
Yeah.
now that I know tapping, I really don't have those days anymore. Not at all. But remembering that this too shall
Mhm.
pass.
That's great. That's great. And yeah, I think like I mean to be honest, when we're at that moment, it is hard to see a way out, but there is always and I think if we really pay attention to our previous experiences, other moments we've had where we have pushed through it, right? That'll give us an idea that we will be able to push through it, but more often than not, when someone's in that state, it becomes hard for them to even think straight per se. One other question, just like along the lines of that, what happens if someone's struggling to sleep? What would you suggest with that?
So I'm also a Qigong instructor, and the struggling to sleep has a lot to do with not triggering your parasympathetic nervous system. It's usually because you are under stress and your sympathetic nervous system has taken over your body. Your sympathetic nervous system happens in a flash of a second. And it's whenever we perceive danger. Now, what's interesting is that your brain cannot tell the difference between you thinking there's danger and there being real danger. And what's interesting and what I've learned from quantum tapping or past lives is that we may go into a room and see a red trash can in a corner. And for whatever reason, we walk into this room and go, I'm not comfortable. And you have no idea why. And it could be something that happened when you were 5 months old, because your amygdala, your lizard brain, your long-term memory remembers being that age and remembering every detail in the room. And there may be something in that room. So doing things to trigger your parasympathetic nervous system is going to help. So things like Qigong, I can show you a quick and easy thing to do in Qigong. Tapping, of course. Many of my clients have reported that they'll wake up in the middle of the night and they'll tap while they're laying in bed, and they can go right back to sleep. Nutrition is really big. exercise. So would you like to see a simple Qigong exercise to do for uh,
Sure, yeah.
okay.
Yeah.
So if you extend your hand out and start at your heart and with your palm up, you're going to exhale and move your hand all the way down to your palm, and then move your hand back forward and inhale on the outside of your arm back to your heart, and then exhale to your hand and then back up. And if you do this 16 times on each side, you are actually going to be triggering your parasympathetic nervous system. Now, a lot of people will say meditation or prayer is good too. All of those things are going to trigger your parasympathetic nervous system, and that's what you need to do to be able to sleep at night.
That is something new. I never knew, and it's super helpful. So thank you
Good.
so much for that. I know we're pushing this a bit far, but I have to ask you one last question. What would your advice be for someone in their 20s?
Oh, what would my advice be to someone in their 20s?
Yeah.
There's a great book by Buffett called 40 Chances. And to know that between your 20s and 60s, that you have 40 chances to change the world. So make good use of them. Read, 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 and read really good books. As we were talking, I was thinking about another book called The Fourth Cycle. And it actually explains what we're going through right now in our world, which for some people it's turning, their world is turning upside down. So the more you read, the more you understand, and have patience with everyone, most especially with yourself.
I like that last one. I really like that last one. I got into reading books recently. So I'm in the process of reading Atomic Habits, and it's really insightful. Have you read that book?
You're the second person who's recommended that.
Nice. It's actually a great book in terms of understanding how habits are formed, how to break habits. It's really, really helpful, and I could talk about that for a while. But we're running out of time. But the patience aspect of it is something that's so underrated, and I don't think it's hard. I'm gonna admit it's hard, especially when you go on social media and you see people blowing up overnight, and you're like, okay, I want to do that, and then when that doesn't happen, you just give up right away, and so on and so forth. And like it's cool to like have stories like that, but it's not the reality of life, unfortunately. But so yeah, that's a really, really good point about patience. Is that yeah, it's essential moving forward for everything in life, literally every aspect of life, because it's not gonna just like life is not just gonna hand everything to you on the plate, right? You have
Oh, I
to
hate that part.
yeah. It's like when you want to earn it, you know?
Right?
Yeah. Yeah. So
Yeah.
that's my take on patience and the lack of it. All right. Thank you so much for taking your time today. Anything you would like to add, like as a closing thoughts or statements or anything
Sure.
like that?
I invite your audience members to reach out to me. I'm a bit of a wordsmith. I like to play around. My last name is Nall, Nall. So the name of my company is my last name followed by the word edge, EDGE. So they can go on my website of knowledgecompany.com, NALLEDGECO.com. Or they can email me at hello@drnall.com. Or for your audience members who have access to long distance calls, call me. I would love to talk to you. I would challenge your listeners to call me. I'm at area code 772-226-0167. I love intelligent and fun conversations.
That's awesome. That's awesome. And I can tell you're really good at those too. So that's amazing. All right. Thank you so much, everyone, for listening. And yeah, I'll be putting that information in the description somewhere. But yeah, I look forward to keeping in touch. And yeah, I'll talk to you all in the next episode. Take care.